Okay, this is Ringwalk Media in association with Well Eyes Therapy and Barclay Carter Racing. We have the woman of the hour, Miss Raven Chapman, and you've got the biggest fight of your career finally over the line against Skye Nicolson. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, Jonathan. Thank you, and yeah, really excited that it got made because there was a point where it was looking like it wasn't going to happen. Um, so yeah, really happy for this opportunity and for the stage for it to be on. And yeah, we're ready to show what we're made of now.
Well, we'll go into about the fight and the process and all the rest of it in a minute, but I just want to take you back to your last fight out over in London. You got to box at the O2, and a really good performance that really propelled you up there. I thought it was one of your best performances boxing wise that night.
Yeah, thank you. It was yeah, it was a great night. I felt like it was just nice to get back in there after little injury and yeah, show that, fully healed, raring to go, really. She was a tough cookie to withstand what she withstood. I think she was definitely feeling that after the fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, props to my opponent and yeah, it was great to I say get out there on a big stage in the big arena and show what we have been working on. I might have been out of the ring for a little while, but I have been, sat at home in that time. I've been still working and grafting and as Stu says, he always says it will be sort of 8, 9 fights in, 10 fights in where you really see just how good I am, and that's started to happen these last couple of fights. You're starting to see that bit more, and I think that's just that little better opposition that you're getting. And yeah, just have fun in there. I just enjoy doing what I do. I like to get in there and have a fight. I like to throw punches, and I like to be fit
Yeah.
and keep working. That's just what I enjoy doing, and I think because of that, it always makes entertaining fights.
Well, it was an entertaining fight, and Sarabia has not been beaten before. She's been in there with some big names as well, and she's really been
Yeah,
up there. Sorry, my phone's going off.
yeah.
Apologies. But
Be popular, Jonathan.
oh, tell you what, it's people like, why are you bringing me back? Um, you know, it was a brave fight, a brave choice of opponent for a fight when you're coming back from a little niggle, and with so much at stake possibly as well. So just goes to show how
Yeah,
dedicated and how certain you are of your abilities.
yeah, and that's what we wanted. Like I said in my interviews after the fight, it's like what I've boxed and beaten two former world champions. My last three opponents have all been undefeated prospects. You
Yeah,
know, and the last opponent we wanted someone sort of decent. She had just come off a really good win against a really good caliber opponent.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, it was also great to get a southpaw in because we knew we'd be facing plenty southpaws, so might as well get one in and give it a go.
And it suited you, didn't it,
So
that fight as well?
yeah, it did, and we were prepared for loads of scenarios in that fight, and where I prepared so much, I expect her to be able to move a lot more, but I was just too quick for her and caught up with her so much that I ended up even smothering myself a little bit. So what's nice is as much as you're not the only one, a lot of people have said they think that's the best that I've performed. I still look at it and know there's so much more that I
Yeah.
can do and so much better I can do and everything else. I'm not looking at it like, yeah, that is the best because it's not the best me that you will see, and it's not the best that I know that I can do and am capable of.
Well, you always said the better the opposition, the better you'll perform because you have to, and I think that's certainly true. Like you said, the last three fights now have been against very good opposition, and each time you've stepped up, and we see something new that we haven't seen before. And I think this last fight, we just saw your relentlessness. You just didn't stop going on her. She didn't get a second to breathe. I mean, fair play to her for
No,
staying in there because I thought you'd took her out at that time, but
yeah, I do think maybe the fight should have been stopped because she was she was getting hurt. She was, like I
Yeah.
say, she was tough. She was still trying to stay in that fight and go out on her shield. I do think it was a bit of a brave corner and a brave ref that night to let her like carried on with that, because after the fight when we saw her, she wasn't okay. um yeah, she was, you could see she'd had the fight completely beaten out of her after. um
Yeah.
but how she stayed standing, I don't know.
Listen, the fight with Skye was a little bit frustrating for you because I think there was a time when this fight might not have happened. And then when we spoke to Frank in the press conference after your victory, he said, no, no, we want the Skye Nicolson fight. We're trying to make that happen. And it kind of must have happened quite quickly after that.
Yeah, after the fight, George and Frank both said, we want the Skye fight next. That's what we're gonna get. And you know, we made it happen. Obviously, I was the mandatory anyway, and then there was a little bit of whatever happened there. So the fact that I got to get that opportunity back is amazing. Obviously with the IBF, we would have tried to go down that route, but I was ranked third, so not necessarily
Yeah.
able to get it unless one or two weren't up for the fight. So I'm glad I've got the opportunity, because like I said, I do feel like I'm deserving of it, and I've worked hard and I've put myself in these positions, and now it's come to fruition. And yeah, I'm just ready to take it.
Well, we are lucky enough to speak to Frank yesterday at the press conference for Nick Ball, and we spoke about obviously you being making history out in Saudi Arabia because you'll be the first world title female fight out there, you and Skye. And he sort of mentioned, the IBF could be the unification fight for the winner.
Yeah, which makes sense. And it'll be really good, try and get those belts that are there ready for when Serrano does come back down after fighting Katie to the featherweights, and box with them all after that.
And what would your ideal scenario been? Say for example, it's your night out in Saudi Arabia, and that's no given because it's a tough fight, right? It's a 50-50 fight. But say it goes your way and, Serrano comes back down. Would that be your ultimate sort of goal in your career? I want to fight Serrano for a belt.
Yeah, 100%. Serrano's been the queen of the featherweights for a long time. She's one of the pound for pound greatest in the women's. Um, Stylistically, I just know it's a really enjoyable, exciting, tough fight, and that's what I personally love and thrive off. Um, and so I just know it'd be so exciting, and an honor to share the ring with someone like Serrano, who's been in the game for such a long time and pushed loads of boundaries herself. um so yeah, just like I say, I just that's 100% the fight that I'd love to have before she does eventually retire.
And I think now that Saudi Arabia has welcomed females boxing into the kingdom, and I'm sure that the occasion is going to be a fantastic one as well, they will probably be a little bit more open to maybe getting someone like Amanda over there before she does hang up the gloves. Because after all, money talks, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure they'd love to have someone like Amanda over there who, is always in such exciting fights. And as well known and respected as she is in the women's game. And I think that's all what it's about, is getting that development in the women's
Yeah.
boxing over there, and just showing everyone what we can do, and um, what they can work towards as well, all the young girls over there.
So listen, let's talk about Skye. You and her know each other quite well. I think you've had some sparring as well. Um, Everyone will ask you how the sparring went. I'm not going to ask you how the sparring went. I'd rather see it in the ring if I'm being honest. But how confident are you that it's going to be you with your hand raised at the end of the match?
Oh, I'm very confident. Yeah, this is the fight that we've wanted. I think it it'll be a good fight. I don't think physically it's going to be my toughest fight. I think mentally it may be toughest. It'll be, a lot of ring IQ, a lot of thinking with it, rather than a real physical test. as I've had in some of my other fights. So yeah, I'm just really looking forward to it. I feel really confident, and I know what I'm capable of, and what a lot of people don't see me doing in the gym. Um, may finally be able to see, my boxing skills rather than my fighting skills
Yeah.
in the ring against Skye. So yeah, like I say, I can't wait. Can't wait to take that belt and have my hand raised for sure.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be a spectacular week out there, and you've actually been out there yourself. You've seen it. You've been in the Mike Tyson boxing gym training. You know what the heat's like. You know what the whole occasion's like. Are you looking forward to being now finally part of that whole production?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Obviously, I've been a couple times now for some of the biggest fights that you could think of, but I did say I wasn't going to go again unless I'm out here fighting, as in for the boxing. I was like, I'm not going to go to the boxing again until it's me fighting. And it just so happens the next show I'm on it. So I'm ready, and yeah, I can't wait to go out there again and see all the faces from last time, and the new friends that were made, and hopefully they can all make it to this one as well.
And you know that the production is huge out there. You know, the glitz and the glamour, the red carpets, the events of Fight Week are quite, big. Um, and you know that it's all kind of in the evening time as well. How do you think that you'll deal with still being in camp that fight week? You know, you are in
Mm.
camp still leading up to that. How do you think you'll deal with those time differences?
Yeah, yeah, fine. Obviously, I've had the luxury of being there before. Obviously, everything is done a little bit later, so you don't really need to adapt to the time. You just stay on the same times as back home, really,
Hmm.
because they're 2 hours ahead. So that I'll do that again, not adapt the times, just stay the way I do at home.
It sounds like you've got it all planned out and you're ready to go. Are your team excited as well?
Yeah, it's really exciting to have the whole team be able to get out and experience the fight nights out in Riyadh season, because like you say, they're
Oh,
huge spectacle. Yeah,
David,
they're buzzing for the opportunity. Obviously, everyone's been working towards it.
sorry, you just broke up a little bit
Yeah,
there. We
I
didn't.
don't know.
Yeah, so I think it's a mixture of you and I. Yeah, you just saying that
No.
your team were looking forward to going with you.
Yeah, the team are really looking forward to going away. Really excited to be able to share it with all the team as well this time, because not everyone's been before. Um, and yeah, just this is what we've been working for, and this is, kind of thing that we had in the back of our mind for a little while, nights like this, and to make this happen and to be part of history.
Well, you finally got it, and it's hard graft that's got you there. We've seen your career for quite some time now, and know kind of some of the stuff you've gone through. Um, I think this is a great fight. It's one you wanted. I think it's one the public wanted as well, and I think women's
Yeah,
boxing is really going to get propelled after this fight because there are a lot of eyes on this fight, and being a history maker as well, it's got an extra special edge to it, hasn't it?
yeah, definitely. Like you say, it's the one we've wanted. It's where we want to be. Breaking barriers at the moment in women's boxing is so important, just to have that representation, and just knowing that you can do anything you want to do if you put your mind to it. And like you say, for me with my journey, I've never been handed anything. I've always had to graft. And you know what? That's exactly the way I want to do. I'd never want to be handed something if I hadn't worked for it. And now I'm getting my opportunities, and it just shows that hard graft really does pay off.
Exactly, and that's a really good message to any aspiring boxers that are looking at this and going, you know what, it is possible. Yes, it is, but you've got to work for it, haven't you?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. This is all, 10 years of graft has gone into this essentially, from when I first started taking boxing really seriously. And yes, it all comes down to like moments like this. And, I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. And it's like we've said, I've always stuck to my guns with it, even when people may not have understood why I was doing it, or I didn't see the benefit that I got out of it. But I always knew um, what I wanted to do and that I could achieve it. And so
Yeah.
that's what I've done.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's another Riyadh season fight night, a huge one over here in Wembley next month. First one they've
Yeah,
done at the UK shores. And a story that's sort of very similar to yourself, although he's a little bit further down in his career, is Anthony Kakachi. You know, he's the one that he's grafted, he's done the small halls, he's been the forgotten man, and he changed his life over in Saudi Arabia when he beat Joe Cordina. I mean, that he's
yeah,
now got Josh Warrington. I mean, what a phenomenal story. And it just goes to show that it can happen, doesn't it?
yeah, exactly. It just goes to show you just got to believe in yourself, work hard, and keep pushing for what you want. And the stars will align as long as you keep moving forward. It's never going to come alive and come true if you give up halfway there. You've got to keep on going and trust in the journey and knowing what you want. And if you want it, just go and take it with both hands.
Well, listen, we're really pleased that you finally got your shot. The future's looking bright, but there's a lot of work to do to get there. So I'm sure
Yep.
that you're wanting me to clear off in a minute so that you can go and do some more. Um,
Just go and finish my smoothie.
we're going to leave the last word to you, a message to Skye, and then a message to all the fans that have supported you since the beginning.
So, well, I guess, Guy, I'll see you in what, 7.5 weeks, and yeah, it's gonna be an exciting fight, and you may get some fans that think your fights are exciting for once with me, and thanks to all my sponsors and supporters that have made it all come true. It wouldn't be happening without everyone supporting me along the way.
Well, great way to end. Raven, thank you so much for your time as always, and we will see you in Saudi.
Thanks, Jonathan.